do you think brought me home? Huh?
So long, Zach!
Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. I'm your host, Will. If you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then you must have watched the 1987 cartoon series. And if you have, then you know that among the four brothers, there was a fifth turtle. In this video, we're gonna go over the facts of the fifth honorary member, Zach the Turtle Fan himself. Let's get to it. The moment you think about the world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the iconic four brothers, aka Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael pop into your mind almost instantly because they have always been the center of the Ninja Turtles universe. But then, when you least expect it, a human kid makes the most impactful entry ever. This is Zach. And don't mistake him as just another overexcited kid who's obsessed with turtles and fantasizes about being the fifth turtle. The moment he enters with his red and green bandana, a turtle shell backpack, and a hockey stick as his weapon, everyone is taken by surprise. Zach isn't trained like the Turtle Brothers, nor is he powerful enough to handle the chaos of the world the Turtle Brothers live in. But it's his sheer determination and willpower to fight and protect the world alongside the Ninja Turtles that sets him apart. Throughout the 1987 animated series, the brothers spot Zach's hidden potential, especially once he proves his mettle. Although this guy appears in a handful of episodes, with their guidance, Zach transforms into the hero he always dreamed of becoming. The Turtles' ultimate fan steps up as the team's unofficial fifth member, popping in throughout the series to lend a hand. And trust me, his returns are always a highlight. So let's get into exploring Zach's character without any further delay. Number 1. The fifth turtle, the kid with a dream and a hockey stick. If you guys still remember, it all begins in the episode The Fifth Turtle of the third season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This episode is where the story of a geeky young boy who is the biggest fan of the Ninja Turtles unfolds, when he suddenly pops up during a fight between some street punks, Donatello, and Raphael. He claims to be a master Ninja Turtle and the scourge of evildoers. Well, Donatello and Raphael were utterly confused and unimpressed to see a young boy in a turtle costume with a hockey stick in the middle of a fight. Of course, a little kid can't tackle petty street punks, so he ultimately becomes more of a liability than a help to the Turtle Brothers. After the fight, the brothers urged him to go back to his home before he got into more trouble. But Zach is a kid with a heart full of curiosities. He picks up Raphael's turtle comm, which eventually lands him into more trouble. That night, he tells Walt, his older brother, about his adventure with the turtles. But his brother doesn't believe a single word and teases him even more. Later that night, Zach hears the information that he wasn't supposed to hear from the turtle comm, and the next thing we know is that he arrives at a place where he wasn't welcomed. Again, he messes things up real bad. He falls into a trap that puts his life in danger. In the end, the Turtles had to abort their main mission to save Zach, which indirectly helped Shredder escape with the capsidium crystals from the Marconi labs. The realization of his mistake dawns upon Zach. He understood he wasn't skilled enough to help the Ninja Warriors, but he didn't give up. He even impresses Splinter by finding the Turtles' sewer lair. He follows the Turtles to return Raphael's turtle comm, and once he was inside their lair, he couldn't miss out on a tour of their home. But he only got it on the condition of not meddling in the brothers' business ever again. But of course, he does meddle. However, this time, he made sure his interference was worth it. At first, Zach did put the Turtles in a tough spot when Shredder threatened for planetary conjunction. But then he remembered Donatello's explanation that the crystals were sound sensitive, so he uses his modified turtle comm to create a high-pitched frequency that stops the Technodrome, a massive war machine, from rising. That's where his story takes a massive turn. He isn't just a naive kid who brings trouble anymore. He brings solutions that actually help the Turtle Brothers. Realizing his potential, the brothers gave Zach his own turtle comm and made him the honorary fifth turtle of the gang. Zach totally left an impression on the brothers, and let's say, the little boy with big dreams successfully executed his master plan in becoming the fifth turtle. When he returned home that night, he also proved to his own brother that he was telling the truth the whole time. Walt saw the Turtles bidding goodbye to his little brother, and he was too stunned to speak. And Zach's adventures don't end here. He's going to get thrown into more situations where he would have to prove his worth as a fifth turtle. Number 2. Shredderville. Right side even in the wrong world. This episode felt like a fever dream, because it actually was. The Turtles lost track of Shredder once again, and were having a very frustrating day. So, before sleeping, Donatello darkly suggests that the world might have fared better without their mutation, given Shredder's trail of destruction to get rid of the Turtles. And somehow, they actually wake up in a nightmare version of New York called Shredderville, where the brothers did not exist. As a result, Shredder had taken control. He has put his face on the currencies, hunts the mutants, pollutes and terrorizes the city that the Turtles once guarded. And right when the Turtles navigate this dystopian version of New York, they come across a child being attacked by a rock soldier, and that child is none other than Zack. The moment they spot him, the brothers immediately recognize their old friend, with Michelangelo calling out to him as our old compadre, the fifth turtle. But in this world, Zack doesn't know them at all. In this world, humans and mutants are not friends, and yet, the moment the turtles save his life, he trusts them anyway. Without an ounce of hesitation, he helps them disguise themselves as repairmen to sneak into the Technodrome. Without his help, the Turtles wouldn't have made it inside nearly as easily. Even in the nightmare world, where everything the Turtles built together never happened, Zack still ends up on the right side because he trusted his instincts. Maybe deep down, he knew the Turtles were doing the right thing. It shows how sharp his instincts were becoming. Number 3. The Great Baldini. The toughest lesson yet. By the time the Great Baldini begins, Zack is no longer the kid who showed up once. He's like a family member to the Turtles, and you can see it right away in the lair, where he is casually a part of Michelangelo's failed magic show. He jokes around like he belongs there. However, his innate curiosity kicks in the moment he hears about the Great Baldini's magic performance, and this time, it pulls him straight into trouble. Well, we're used to it now. Zack and trouble go hand in hand. At the museum, Zack senses something is off when the Tortellini emerald vanishes. His trouble senses skills have improved after hanging out with the Turtles, but this time, he takes the initiative himself alongside Caitlin, his best friend, without waiting for the Turtles, and follows Baldini into the basement. He connects the dots between Baldini, who is not only a magician but a thief, and Don Tortelli, who is Baldini's cousin and a gangster. He realizes they are villains working together to steal the emeralds and frame the Turtles. But of course, the downside of acting on his instinct came with consequences. Zack and Caitlin steal the emerald back and try to escape, but before they can, they get cornered. To be honest, this is one of the most intense moments for Zack. He found himself in a helpless situation where Tortelli used Caitlin as leverage against Zack to break him. Maybe because of his experience, this time Zack doesn't panic immediately. He tries his best to hold his ground, but eventually, the pressure gets to him. Zack breaks down and reveals where the emerald is hidden. Mind you, it's not a sign of weakness, it's reality, because he's still a child in the end. He's just a kid stuck in a situation way bigger than him. But he gets his redemption. When the chaos escalates with the Rat King and the Turtles finally arrive, Zack steps back into action with full force alongside the Turtles without jumping into the danger all by himself. He helps them track the villains and plays a role in recovering the emerald. This episode definitely shows a different side of Zack, who's not just eager, but vulnerable. He understands that having a brave heart doesn't always guarantee that you won't break under pressure. I guess it taught him a lesson that for safety, he should always have a backup and should trust his allies. This lesson will be important when his brother Walt becomes the source of the crisis in the next season. Number 4. The missing map. Chaos was never Zack's fault this time. Zack makes a comeback in the episode Missing Map. Zack is now super close to the Turtle Gang, and this time, he even brings Walt to meet them. The Turtles were showing the brothers their scrapbook of past adventures, and Donatello even shows them the map to their lair and all the evidence that could expose Shredder's conspiracy to the Foot Clan. Walt was listening the whole time, but the minute the Turtles left, he took the pouch anyway. Walt was so hurt and blinded by jealousy towards Zack and his achievements and adventures with the Turtles that he chose to keep the pouch for himself. But he had no idea what dangers were waiting for him ahead. So this time, the trouble doesn't start with Zack at all. It's not like Walt wanted this to happen intentionally, but he always felt left out or sidelined whenever Zack used to participate in the adventures with the Turtles, while he never got a chance. Zack was clueless about the danger at first, but behind their backs, Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady overhear everything and follow them. The next thing you know, there's a chase through the science fair. Walt tries to protect the map, while Zack becomes the direct target. As a result, Zack gets captured and taken to the Technodrome. Meanwhile, Walt finds April, who was broadcasting live from the science fair, and notified the Turtles about the situation. He then works alongside everyone to find the map. Back in the Technodrome, Zack doesn't get scared or anything. Instead, he does something which is very Zack-coded. He starts messing with the controls, pressing buttons, annoying Krang to the point that it disrupts everything. The plan somehow works in his favor. Meanwhile, the Turtles track him down and rescue him, which shifts the focus back to the real issue, and that is the map. Once they return to the science fair, Zack stays with the team as they secure it before Shredder can get his hands on it. In the end, they were successful, and both Zack and Walt got praise for their bravery. And just like that, Walt becomes the honorary 6th Turtle. Both the brothers found their footing together in this episode, but Zack still had more adventures to attend. Number 5. Bebop and Rocksteady conquer the universe. the day Zack saved the Saviors. This episode starts off with a small but important detail. The Turtles are worried about Zack, and it sets the tone of the episode because Zack is out there dealing with real-world problems, like bullies and isolation, while the Turtles are dealing with their malfunctioning turtle comms. But something even more dangerous was awaiting them. Zack is one of the first to witness the chaos of Bebop and Rocksteady getting their hands on the Exciatron ray. It's a ray gun that could weaponize fear and paralyze even the bravest fighters. But when he tries to contact the Turtles, his turtle comm stops working, so he couldn't even call the Turtles for help. However, the moment the communication gets restored, Zack doesn't waste a second to give the Turtles the critical information about City Hall. However, things go sideways even with the Turtles involved. The Exciatron hits them too, leaving them paralyzed by fear and hiding back in the lair. At that moment, Zack takes the initiative and teams up with Splinter. This is a big shift. He is no longer just tagging along, but actively participating in the plan. When Splinter gets captured, Zack doesn't freeze like before. He steals the Exciatron himself. This moment defines him, because now he's capable of taking initiative under pressure. He uses the ray to reverse its effects on the Turtles and bring them back into the fight. Donatello then redirects the train onto another line to save Splinter, while the Turtles lead a runaway Gorgonzola robot onto the tracks, and the collision destroys it, with Zack and April falling free just in time. And by the end, when he gets recognized for his actions, it feels like he truly earned it. Because in an episode where even the Turtles lost control, Zack was the one to step up and keep everything moving. However, the next challenge was going to be a lot harder for him. Number 6. Zack and the Alien Invaders. Threats from Another World. This episode puts Zack in a completely different position. He's become someone no one takes seriously anymore, due to his obsession with alien comics and antics that make everyone assume he lives in his fantasies. It reaches a point where even his parents send him off to a military academy to fix him, and that's where things take a turn. At the academy, Zack realizes something is genuinely wrong with his fellow cadets because they were acting like mindless zombies. He suspected they were probably being controlled by Wingnut and Screwloose, who were disguised as authority figures. But in reality, they were two alien villains, a bat and a cockroach. They both tried to brainwash the cadets and make them their personal army. Zack knew he wasn't just imagining things. His gut feeling said he was right, but no one believed him. He tries calling for help but gets dismissed repeatedly. And just when he is about to prove it, he gets captured. This is probably one of his most frustrating moments because he knows the truth but has no way to convince anyone. However, once the robotic cockroach started to attack the city, everything Zack was saying made sense. But even then, the rescue doesn't go smoothly. When Michelangelo and Donatello arrive, they get captured. Naturally, everything falls back on Zack. He doesn't panic when they get stuck altogether. Instead, he uses his turtle comm to overload the machine and shut the entire operation down. You gotta admit, his achievement feels personal here because this time, he trusted himself when no one else did, and proved everyone, including his parents, wrong. The kid had already learned to protect himself and the others, and he was going to do the same in the future. Number 7. Night of the Rogues. From being saved to doing the saving. So by the time the episode Night of the Rogues takes place, Zack has become a hero figure. He doesn't bring trouble with him anymore. Rather, he comes to the rescue. Splinter calls Zack for help as soon as he realizes the Turtles have been captured by a massive lineup of villains assembled by Shredder. He does so because Zack is one of the people he can trust blindly. This detail alone shows how far Zack has come. He works alongside Casey Jones, a close ally of the Turtles, instead of going after the Turtles alone. They track down the Chrome Dome together. Once Casey Jones and Splinter disable the Chrome Dome, which was a nearly indestructible robot designed by Shredder and Krang, Zack helps to extract critical information about where the Turtles are being held. From there, Zack coordinates smoothly with the team and they reach the Turtles just in time, right before the situation gets worse with a disintegrator device. He fits into this mission so naturally by working alongside his allies and contributing when and where it matters. He doesn't have a big flashy moment, but he helps to turn the tide at a critical point. This time, the difference is he's no longer the kid getting saved, but he has become a part of the team that does the saving. It's quite a bittersweet feeling to know that this was Zack's last appearance in the series. The writers brought him and Casey Jones together to give them a proper send-off alongside the Turtles, and it was the best closure every fan could get. If you look at Zack's journey across all these episodes, it never feels rushed or forced. He starts off as a kid driven purely by admiration towards the Turtles and with a big dream of becoming a hero like them. He didn't learn it all in one day, but he gradually grew into that role by learning from his mistakes, from facing the hurdles and their consequences, and from experiencing his small wins. And by the end of it all, you can't help but agree Zack isn't just the 5th turtle because he claimed to be one, but because he earned that title. Lastly, to all my fellow viewers, if you enjoyed Zack's character exploration, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Till next time!